Hey guys, how's it going? So today Erin and I are going to start working on this area right behind me. This is where our old brick patio was. You know, it was like heaving all over the place. There was a raised bed in the center that was kind of falling apart and it didn't drain. There was a kind of a concrete layer underneath it. There were little pockets in the patio where it looked like at one time there were things planted. In fact, when we moved in, there was a couple lavender plants in those pockets. And anyway, we took that out when we got this area ready for the Hartley, and we are going back in with the patio this spring. It's actually a project we thought we were going to get to last fall, and it just got a little bit late, and then it started to snow, and then we knew we were going to have to push it to this spring. So it's a nice dirt/mud patch with two cats. Now it looks like a fight's about ready to break out. Hey. Look at all that nice mud and snow. This is where we piled all the snow that we shoveled off the walkway that we abruptly ended. So this is where we stopped all the new progress last fall, and we are going to pick up here and carry on to this space here. Now, we initially thought we were going to be doing a flagstone patio, and then we decided that we wanted to do brick instead. So we are going back in with brick in the area where there was brick. And I know that seems weird, but we need to have a proper base down. We want all unified like color of brick. What we had going on here, there were some like white bricks, there were some orange bricks, there were some red ones. So it'd be nice to have brick that matches all the rest of this stuff here. And we're going to kind of recreate the lines around this space to blend with the lines around the Hartley, so it all looks like one hopefully unified space. I did very roughly sketch out what we're thinking, and that's why we're marking it out today and why that's so important. I know a lot of people use hoses. You'll get a hose out and kind of lay how you want your flower bed to be cut out, live with it for a couple of days before you go to the work of actually cutting sod or, you know, reworking your whole area. Because sometimes after you've lived with a design, you want to tweak it a bit. So it's always nice to either paint out your lines or mark them in some way that you can walk the area a whole bunch and like really see if the flow works and all that business. Okay, I did not think about the glare. This may not work out here. Okay, I'm gathering up my stuff. We're gonna head to the studio. I think our glare will be less in there. Yeah, I think quite a bit less glare in here. You can see the Hartley, the chicken coop, the area in question. This is where we park our trucks most of the time. I would love to reorganize the barn area so that we didn't have to do that, but this is just how we use our property at the moment. And this is the main walkway up to our kitchen. So it's a really awkward area because we didn't want to create a new entry that only led to the kitchen, because a lot of times we get out and we go straight this way. And we wanted it to feel kind of like an open arms welcome no matter which direction you wanted to go. So we're going to probably at this time keep this opening rather wide with two directions to travel. So you can either go this way toward the brick patio or you can go this way toward the kitchen, which means as I get in closer here, we're going to probably have to take out 3 or 4 of these boxwoods, which is totally fine. We'll just reuse them somewhere else. Probably right here. And then I think we're going to put a lamp post. We had a lamp post here and we really want it back. So we'll put some kind of a lamp right there. We'll probably do some manner of containers to kind of indicate the entryway there. That spot will kind of have to evolve. It's just been really weird thinking of how to incorporate these two areas. So the brick will come, you know, and stop right about where the gravel starts there. But it will also take off in this direction. And this shape, you know, all the way around mirrors what's going on around the Hartley. Uh-oh. There we go. And I think that in the end, that will be really pleasant because, you know, we've got really formal things going on here. Kind of wanted to continue that on. However, we're not doing any boxwood hedging around this area. Just right here, we're going to pick up where this one stops and we'll carry it on to the edge. And then we'll start it over here and carry it on this way. So it does look like, because we do have 2 different elevations, there is a step right here. So it'll look like one room stepping down into another room, but all of the edges here are just going to be where the brick stops and the flower beds start. We are going to be doing something circular in the center. We haven't decided if that's going to be water or if it's going to be another raised bed planter or if it's just going to be in-ground planting, but we are going to be making sure before the bricks go down that there is electrical and water plumbed to that area because we will most likely need both of them in that spot. You can see right here is where the golden rain tree is. There is a flower bed right there. We're going to maintain probably that shape because I want some softness. I want soft lines around the sharp lines to give it, I don't know. I think that's needed. I don't want it to be strictly formal. I want there to be some cottage vibes around it. So these 4 green circles are going to be 4 large pots that look kind of like the ones we have around the Hartley with like cone evergreen, boxwoods rather, some kind of an evergreen that can take both shade, which is usually boxwood, and sun. So it'll be kind of, I don't know, not boxing in that area, but bringing some cohesion. All this area right in here that used to be lawn, that will now be flower bed, which I think is going to be so gorgeous. We'll have some softness right here and right here. And there's a couple circles you can see right there, I hope. The shadow of the trees makes it a little rough, but those are flagstones leading to the gate that goes to our fireplace area. And then same here, we'll have a couple of flagstones come out from this boxed in sidewalk area that leads to this space as well, because we use both of those openings a lot. And last thing, we will be keeping a lot of this area the same. We are coming in with gravel about right here, halfway right here. And so it'll be just access to the benches, and it'll come out this way. And then I'm going to continue on either with pallets or flagstones. It just depends on what we decide to do. It's going to have to swing in a little bit, and then it'll come right around here and go right out there. So we will have a little quaint pathway area still. I sure hope that all made sense. But again, you know, once we get it all measured and marked, it's possible we might shift the design around. In fact, I had one more sketch in here that I forgot to show you that made the patio area much more cozy. I think maybe a little bit too cozy, but there was more for flower beds on the interior of the area. But I think we opted for the design I just showed you because it's just more open in the center. We can fit more seating. You know, right under this tree, this is the area we actually sit in the most in our entire property because it's always comfortable right here, you know, under the shade of this tree, and it's also between the house and the barn. We find ourselves walking this area all the time. So it just makes sense to keep seating a priority in this area, I think. So you can see here, we're going to be moving benches. I just moved these out of the way when we got the teak benches. We'll be probably putting these up closer to the house. However, I do like how they look right here. But we'll be moving this bench because this will all be flower bed in here. We've got plenty of places to use it. Everything is just so different when you come and stand out in an area and really feel what the space feels like. Like oftentimes things are a lot smaller than they are when you're sketching them out. I can fit all kinds of things in my designs when I'm sketching it out, and then I get outside to actually implement those things and I think, I don't know quite what I was thinking. Anyway, Erin is gonna come out and help me. I'm gonna gather up our marking gun. We just went and bought a new one because we broke our last one, and some marking paint, and we need to get a tape measure. Marking wand, and we bought us a whole case of paint. We're always out of this, so we figured 12 cans will do us, at least for this season. I'm gonna go grab Aaron now. He was working on something inside. We're gonna be minding our P's and Q's today. Doing things that need to be precise, like measurements, things like that. Those types of projects Aaron and I don't typically work very well together on. It's not one of our strong areas. Here he comes. This is gonna be great. I'm excited.
No fighting or yelling or screaming or any of that.
Nope, none of that. I got my coffee because the weather has been doing weird things. I brought out a cup of ice and I was gonna have something cold, but it snowed this morning for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, there were flurries. What's the cat doing on the truck?
Cheddar, what are you doing up there? More importantly, how did he get up there?
Well, probably
is the tailgate down?
Tailgate down.
Oh yeah, because I got cleaning supplies out of there. Cheddar, Aaron just cleaned the car. Okay, so for measuring equipment, do we just need that big long measuring tape?
Well, we need some stakes.
Okay, not the flags.
Well, maybe the flags. Let's just grab some stakes too.
I don't know how frozen, you know, I don't know how far.
Oh, sure.
I know, it's chilly. I was gonna do the, Diet Pepsi out here. I don't think so. We'll do coffee.
Oh, you didn't bring out the case for this?
No.
Okay, let me go put this inside so it doesn't...
Do we need it though for reference?
No.
Probably not. No, we're good.
Do you want me to grab some stakes real quick?
Yeah, or we can try out a flag.
Oh, the sun. It's
know.
glorious when the sun comes out.
Yeah, it is. The sun is really nice, but yeah, this is what's coming our way. So maybe we should do this quickly. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I think we need to find 4 points on this end because we need to decide if we want to mirror the exact trajectory or the exact design of the bricks down below up here, or if we need to bump them out a little bit. Let me explain while showing you. So I think what we need to do is measure this and then decide if that comes out far enough, because that's where our rectangle or our square, whatever ends up being, will start. So it'll either be this long or maybe a little bit longer.
And you want the brick patio to encompass the outer portion of this. You want it to like to match here so that the bricks are in the same line.
Right.
Okay. This is like 82.5 inches.
Okay. Okay, so about here. And we're not getting it to like within the 1/2 inch, are we?
No,
we're just
not-
kind
I
of getting
mean-
a general idea. We're getting it as close as possible.
Do you have a cutter?
Hopefully those stick into the ground far enough. Oh, there it goes, maybe. That's far enough, right?
Sure.
So now I think we need to get a measurement, which I think is going to be pretty close to this one, and come over that far here, and that will determine our swoop. Let's just try it. All right, Erin is checking my drawing really quick. We've already had a couple of things come up, like, do we want the brick patio, like do we want the edging to be wider than this stone, or do we want the patio just to come off equal to the width of the stone? There are going to be 2 pillars up here, so you won't really see the 2 parts together, and I think if we had a border of brick and the interior, that would be so wide. And then based on the measurements here, if we did, you can see a pin in the ground, hopefully you can see that there. We had to do metal pins because there's ice. And then there's another pin right in there. I think it's just going to be too big, too wide. Don't you think?
It does feel, it feels very wide. If you do a mirror image,
Right.
well, it won't be really, it will never be a mirror image of that because we don't have the space to go that direction
Right.
far enough.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be like a condensed version of it.
Uh-huh.
I think that it could look fine to do a smaller version of that. I don't think you have to do
Like depart from the shape necessarily, just the size.
We already can't do the lengthwise the same.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think that the width, I guess, the other direction needs to be the same either. Because if you look at it, you know, over there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would make sense to go out that far where that little swoop is.
Right.
Over on this side.
Yeah. Well, and if you look here too, if you look where this swoop ends, I mean, it would be, the width would be way over here in the flower bed. See that? Which would be fine. I mean, it's only taking out a couple of feet, but that's still really wide. I don't know. Do you want to go back and take a look at that first sketch? Either way, I think we should go somewhere warm for a minute.
Yeah, do you want to go in the Hartley?
Yeah. It is chillier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, update time. We found our center.
Yeah, so this is going to be where the center is, which I think actually lines up pretty nicely with the barn. And I think it'll line up well here, doing a little swoop.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like 16, I mean around 16, the bricks will change too, because you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to decide, do we do one more brick?
Right.
Or one less brick?
Yeah,
And so your measurements kind of don't,
So it's roughly a 32 by 32 foot square where
Yeah.
we're going to bump in the corners, you know, like we did down there. And then the middle is about 16 feet.
yeah.
And then do you think we should leave an opening? Like, I don't know what to do in the center. If we,
I think we should do an 8-foot circle.
okay.
I mean, honestly, I told you this, I don't know that you really like the idea, but I feel like as long as we get electrical and water to this point,
Uh-huh.
we could just have them brick over it until you're ready for what you want. And then you just pull up, you cut out the exact amount of bricks that you want, or maybe the exact formation. Because if they're all tight,
Uh-huh.
you can get one of those circular saw things, and you can like chalk what size you want, and you can do an exact cut in the bricks from
Sure.
you know where you want.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be exact. You're going to have to make cuts on the bricks.
Right.
But you can make the cuts while they're laying on the ground.
Or you could leave an 8-foot section open and you could plant it with things.
You know what? As long as you've got water and power to
Yeah.
what you know is the center,
Uh-huh.
it really doesn't matter. You could put a fountain, you could put plants, you could put a light, whatever
What would you
want.
guys do? Okay, so at this point, now that we have a rough idea as to what size the square is going to be, which is awesome, and where the opening is, which means we know roughly where the opening is going to be on this side and on this side. Now we need to get our measurements on each end, like where I'm standing, and then also a little further from where Aaron's standing, and then we can just put in some rough lines. Again, all of this, because we're doing it so professionally, all of it's just to get an idea on if our design fits in this area, if we like the way it feels, and then once we get ready to actually do the project for reals, we'll get somebody who's a lot better at measuring than we are to do it.
Well, you know, all the measurements are going to go away anyway because they're going to have to prep this area. So
Right.
everything that we put down or all the pins, they're going to have to come up.
Sure.
So this is really just to make sure it works.
Yeah.
And we like it.
So a couple more measurements and then paint.
I almost feel like you could paint it as is.
You think
I think
so?
we kind of know where things are.
Okay, well, here we go.
I think you should actually just paint the entire square
Okay.
and then paint over the top of that, just paint your little swoops.
Okay. Well, the swoops are going to be, I know they're going to be super rough. Like I'll probably need to take a couple of turns at it. I have to get a rake out here and rake the soil back over the paint. Okay. So this is a marking gun right here. These are super handy to have. Let's see. We gotta attach the wheels. Or wheel, singular. Yeah, got it.
We got the mega pack.
Yes, we did. 12 cans. I thought there was only 6 cans in here for some reason.
You know what though? We'll use it.
I know, we really will. Okay, so this is a special kind of top. For those of you who haven't used this before, you pop that off. See how that looks a little bit different? You just shove it in here. So when you're making your lines like this, there's a little trigger, like that. See, look at that. You can erase your lines pretty easily. So, okay, I'm gonna try to make our square here.
That's a good line.
Is it? I feel like it needs to go a little further. Okay. So 16 feet, I don't know. I feel like having a string was so helpful.
I think you just go do a straight line. This is all kind of just close to show Benny what we're thinking.
Okay.
But I think you're too far over because you want to be.
Like right here where this sprinkler is.
You want to, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe just a hair over though to your right. Yeah. Yeah, somewhere
Okay,
in
is
there.
that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, that's
Is it
horrid.
bad?
Yeah. Okay. I need to go in like this right here. I can erase this part though. Here we go. How's that?
That's
Better?
great.
Better?
Yeah.
All right, guys, it is actually the next morning and it's much nicer out here. I was gonna tour you through yesterday when we got done, but it was such a muddy mess out here and the ground is frozen. So it'll be much easier to walk through and kind of walk the path. And I'm hoping that just seeing the paint lines, you'll be able to kind of catch the vision of what we're thinking. And I think it's close. We might tweak it a little bit and I'll explain all of that. And my mom was also on her way up here because I wanted to walk her through it to see if she had any other ideas. We do that often with each other for her garden and my garden. We'd like to bounce ideas. Okay, I'm standing here by the trucks. I probably should have moved them out of the way for this tour. Might have been able to see a little bit better. Let me see if I can, go this way. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Brick sidewalk there. You can see the line right here. So this is going to be the opening where you go into this area and it will facilitate, I think, traffic this way, but also having this nice big curve, it will draw you this way as well. So you can feel like you go either way easily. So on this side of the paint line, this will all be flower bed, all of this. So as we walk down the brick walkway, the future brick walkway, all of this will be beautiful flower bed. I'm so excited about it because underneath this tree it's usually pretty shady, so maybe we can go in with some hostas and ferns and really like lush this spot out. There will be a few flagstones that lead us to that gate area. We did talk about the possibility of continuing on hydrangeas and doing like a huge bank of hydrangeas right along here as well. I think that would be really stunning. Either way, with this opening here, I think we need to figure out something really beautiful right here because it's kind of the straight on vista. This area to the left of the brick walkway will also be flower bed, and you can see where the brick patio starts. Ignore the corners, we just did that for getting it square. So this area right here will not be brick walkway, it'll be inside of the swoop right here. So the shape of the brick patio will mirror the shape that we have down there with the Hartley. But at each one of the corners, we plan on putting a great big container with a beautiful evergreen like I talked about, so that each corner has one and it all looks very connected. But this flower bed will swing all the way around, take up just a little bit of the gravel, and it will connect to this flower bed where we will do the stacked stone retaining wall there all the way around, and that will kind of maintain because I do not want to do anything to jeopardize the health of this golden rain tree, which I love so much. Okay, as we walk up to the opening here, we made sure that all the openings match. So this one's 6 feet wide, and it matches the 6 foot wide one over there, and it's 6 foot wide there. So this is the patio area. I don't know if you can see the circle in there. We did an 8-foot circle, I think, because this patio is ending up so large, which we might shrink a little bit. We might come in a couple feet on either side to make it a bit more cozy, in which case this will stay 8 foot. If we keep it 32 by 32, which is what it measured out to be, we will probably go to a 10-foot circle in here. But we do plan on putting patio furniture in most of this area so that it's very comfortable, and we want to be out here, and we like bigger furniture. We like big, comfortable furniture. So we do want to keep it fairly open to where you feel like you can have that furniture, still get a garden cart through here and still walk through here with stuff and not feel like it's too necked down. Again, in this corner, this part will be flower bed. The bricks will end at the swoop, and it's perfect. It matches that swoop just perfectly. I just love it. But having a big container in this corner is going to be perfect. I couldn't figure out how to incorporate this boxwood hedge thing. I actually thought at one point about just closing it off completely and not having access, but we just use it too much, and I really like the form of it. So we will pull this concrete up. It's so weird. The brick just stops right there, and then in starts the concrete. So we'll probably just pull that concrete up. We don't have any of that old brick, and it doesn't quite match the new brick. So we'll probably just start in, maybe we'll even stop the brick a little bit further down so that the transition from brick to flagstone makes sense. But anyway, I was thinking just some flagstones that lead you out into this space right here, just kind of masked because there will be lots of plants. This boxwood hedge though will continue on, and then we'll have a pillar here with something wonderful, and then another pillar here, and then a short boxwood hedge this way. I don't think we'll keep the benches here. We'll probably come in with some kind of spiry evergreen, or maybe some kind of, I don't know, we could do some kind of pleached tree right here, which would be really fun. And this side ended up being perfect. We ran a line so that, you know, everything matched and everything's lining up. And I don't think we're gonna have to move these. These are the Ambridge, no, these are the Lady Gardeners. And then here's our opening on this side. So one option we're talking about is planting green tower or something like that. A really skinny evergreen that we could keep at about 5 or 6 feet tall around 3 sides of this area. So starting in that corner over to the opening, from the opening over, this way, my mom arrived just a minute ago, this way. So this whole side would be, you know, green hedge. It'd be a nice roomed in area, and then it would come down this way, and then it would come up to this area, and over here we would keep them low so that when you're in this area you feel a little bit more protected, or it feels cozier while still maintaining view, you know, over to the Hartley. Anyway, that's just a thought. We're not sure, but I'm gonna go. My mom ran inside right away to say hi to the kids. I'm gonna go see if she wants to come walk through this, and we'll get her thoughts on it. Are you well prepared? Look at these cats. They're like, hello.
Hello, kitty kitty. Hello.
Oh, got your coffee ready to shoot some ideas around?
This is my first cup of the day.
Oh, serious?
I know. I don't
Number
even know how I
3.
drove here.
Number 3 for me. Woo, cheers. So walking up to this, I'm excited about having a flower bed right in front of us here.
It's going to be beautiful. Okay, so picture this. Picture standing right here and that boxwood hedge being right there.
I don't know. That's why you're here.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if you'll like that.
It'd be too cut off.
It needs to be like maybe like
lined up with the stones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We can go
Yeah.
in. It's flexible a little bit.
Right.
We can go in a bit. But if we lined up the boxwood hedge, if we did the wall
Yeah.
with these stones right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right on that for
You
sure.
think so? Mm-hmm. So just that line,
Yes.
it might bug you.
Right, if it looks in.
Yes.
Even if there's flower beds around it and all of
Yes.
that. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
But I love the idea of walling it in like a little walled garden.
Yeah,
And walled gardens immediately make you feel cozy.
they do.
Yeah.
You know, there is yet another option. We could put the boxwoods on the inside of that line
Yes, you could.
so that it's a completely different feel from
Yes.
the trajectory of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And that way we don't have to go into the root system of the tree.
Exactly. Because you are going to possibly take
The ash tree
the
out.
ash tree because it's full of borers,
Yeah.
right?
I'll show you guys a close-up of the ash tree here in a minute, but there's one trunk that we just know it's going to go, and it feels like a liability
Yeah.
and really kind of not smart to keep it. So I think we are going to have that removed this spring. It makes me sick to do it. Like, there were a few trees that I was like, yes, getting rid of, but there's a few that, you know, you just don't want to get rid of the shade or the structure, but you just have to because you don't want it to fall down.
Well, and the
On
thing of
anything
it
or
is,
anyone.
plants are just like people.
Yeah.
They get disease, they get, sick, and some of them make it, some of them don't.
Right, I know. It's
And
the
it's just
circle
the way
of life.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And you've done your solid best, your
Yeah,
level best.
We have.
To
Yeah.
get that thing
We've
to
treated
snap
the
out of
crap
it.
out of that tree, and it's just, yeah.
I think it's old too. I
It
think it's
is.
really old.
Yeah.
So,
It's been sick since we moved in.
and thankfully you've got this tree, which
Yes.
I like the shape
I
of that.
love it. The
Yeah.
trunks of that tree,
Yeah,
just
I do
awesome.
too.
And then I was also mentioning that we're hopefully going to do some reorganizing around the barn to where we could park the trucks in the barn, but realistically, how we use this property,
You won't.
we might park one
Well,
in the barn, but
this
one of
is
them
handy.
we won't. It is very nice.
This is super handy, and when you're
Yeah.
carrying groceries and things like
Yeah.
that, and kids,
Yeah.
this is super handy.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes us forever to walk through because you want to talk through all of the possibilities and things that you might, that mom sees that I don't see. Sometimes
Or
you-
vice versa.
Yeah, sometimes you get into a project too deep and you can't see things.
I actually love for us to do this because it really kind of makes me feel excited to do stuff and like, oh, that's
like
a
in
good
your own,
idea.
in your own space. You're like, I'm gonna go home and redesign something.
I'm gonna whip it. I'm gonna tear something out.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So the rock wall will continue on here because that elevation is. We have some elevation. Look
Don't
at that.
you love
Look
that?
at that. Yeah. So we'll continue
Yeah.
that on around.
I love that.
I do too. Yeah. I
Yeah.
need to put the lanterns away. But anyway. The walkway over here, about to the point where it starts to broaden out, it'll stay 6 feet because that's the opening over there. I kind of made it, my paint lines are a little off. You can see where I tried to erase. But it was so muddy, it was really hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, you can see this. This is totally, I can totally see this.
Good.
Yeah.
So flagstones going off the pathway, just kind of veering around, but they'll be tucked into flower beds. And
Okay, question.
yes.
Are you going to, you're going to put like some little stepping stones?
Like some, maybe like 5 or 6 big flagstones that
Yeah.
lead to that area,
Yeah.
which will match the flagstones we put in between the boxwoods over on the other side.
It'll feel so good and so comfortable because you don't ever want to have a space that you can't easily get in and out of.
Right.
Like people want to like hop over a hedge
Right.
because it's
And they
like,
will.
They will.
Yeah.
They'll step over it,
Yep.
especially our guys with their long legs.
Yeah.
They'll just step right over that if it's not convenient.
Right.
Whereas this is nice and comfortable.
Right. Well, in the fireplace area, if we maintain all the openings, there's 4 openings to that space.
Yeah.
Which I think is
That's a
nice.
sweet space.
I love that space.
Love that space.
Yeah. Watch
Yeah.
the string.
I will. Yeah. Famous last words.
Right. We did a real professional job looking it up over the boxwoods. That's so funny.
I love that. That's real. Keeping it real.
Yeah. Okay, so my other question for you, we went ahead and measured everything to where the lines of the major part of the patio, like the swoops in the corners
Yeah.
and the size, mimic or mirror
Yeah.
what's going on down by the Hartley.
Right.
And it does make for quite a large patio. It's 32 by 32. We could shrink it down a bit to make it cozier. Or,
I don't think you should.
Okay.
I think for scale, it needs to be this big. Mm-hmm. Of course, you said to make the center circle
Yeah.
bigger.
Right. If we keep the 32 by 32,
Yeah.
I think we need to go 9 or 10 on the
Yeah.
circle.
And are you going to have furniture
Yes.
out here?
Yes.
Because I know that this is a favorite spot to sit
It
right
is.
over in this area.
Mhm. So we plan on doing a love seat or couch, or size, and then a couple of chairs on this side, tucked in kind of where the stone is there.
Yeah.
Which, do you need a stone?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you can move it, you can have it.
Oh.
I don't know how we would move it.
I'm full of muscles.
I know, me too.
So
That's
full
why-
of muscles.
I know. And then I think we'll get 2 more chairs that match to put in this corner with a little table and an umbrella, and 2 more that match over on this side.
Oh.
I have 2 more questions I can think of.
Okay.
So we were talking about the possibility. Erin thinks we should maybe brick the whole thing, even the circle, stubbing up electrical and water in the middle, and then cutting out, after we figure out how big we want the circle to be, cutting the bricks out in the size of circle we want. But I kind of think doing the bricks around the area, because we know we're going to want something in the middle.
Yes.
Like, it'll either be planting area or fountain. What would you do?
I would always do a fountain
Okay.
because I love the sound of the water, and I know it's maintenance, but for what it does, and I just think it's the perfect spot for a fountain.
Especially, we park here, so we'd
Yeah.
see it all the time. We sit here, so we would enjoy
What do you
it.
think about doing your little boxed hedge, like match?
The one around Versailles, the
Yeah.
urn.
Well, these boxwoods,
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty.
and just do continue on. So there's some of the same
Oh, that's a great idea.
planting around here.
We could even keep the middle circle 8 feet and then have the 2-foot box
Yes.
hedge around it.
Yes.
Done. That's money. That's
Okay.
a money idea. I love it. And then my other question is, when we do the brick down here, we were not sure, because we're mirroring the gravel area, because the gravel is the actual patio area down there, not the brick. So do we make the brick that's coming off the stone match the width of the stone and the width of the gravel? Or do we do the width of the brick border? Because that seems kind of wide to me. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it would come off right here.
Well, kind of in from where, so we'd run a string on the interior where the
Yes.
gravel meets the brick.
Yes.
And that's how wide the brick walkway would be.
Like this wide.
It'd be, I think this,
inside.
inside, yeah, because I think this is 6 feet on the inside, and we kind of
Okay.
wanted to maintain that 6-foot size.
And you're thinking about coming in.
Well, just matching the gravel or matching the exterior of the brick border.
I kind of like the idea of matching the gravel,
Okay.
just to cozy it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
And you won't really see, Erin was concerned that if we didn't match the brick here,
Yeah.
that it would look off, it would
Yeah.
but I think having the pillar right here, it'll break up that line.
Right.
I just,
Well, because if you put the brick straight, I can see either way would look good. But it would make it look, well, it's going to be hard with this stone right here.
going right for my coffee. Russell,
Oh,
what up?
it's going to be hard, my angle right here, with the way that this stone is,
Yep.
to make it look.
I know, we were thinking of maybe seeing if they could cut the stone a little bit
Yeah.
straighter.
Oh.
I don't know. They had to cut it. It was a huge piece. That big chunk over there came off of this
Oh, it
one.
did.
So they already had to cut it.
So if you put it in, it'd almost be like you're coming into a little bit narrower of a room.
Right.
And since this is going to be,
That matches the interior. All the lines match the gravel.
yeah. So that's why I'm thinking this line should match the
Okay.
gravel.
That's what we were
Yeah.
debating yesterday,
Yeah.
trying to decide
Right.
what to do. Oh, it makes me feel so much better to get your opinion on this area.
Well, it makes me feel really good when I'm doing a project, when we brainstorm together, because
Yeah.
we talk each other's language, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's funny because when I'm working on projects with Mom, I can say can you go get that thing over there? It's the thing with the, the things on it. She's like, got it. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. And Erin looks at me like, are you crazy? When we try to work together, because our brains just,
Yep.
work differently. So anyway, it's really good to get, thank you.
Yeah.
Really good to get some other opinions on this space. And we'll think about the green towers. Now, you've grown Grand Blandies, right? Have you grown green towers before? They're both English boxwoods, so I'm a
Yes.
little nervous about the blooming smell.
Oh.
They're sempervirens, but we're going to hedge them. So I don't know
Right.
that we will let them have blooms
Right.
to smell.
Okay, so what kind of boxwoods did you plant right over there on
Those
the
are
other side?
sprinters. They only get 2 to 4 feet tall.
And you want them a little taller than that?
Maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah, because it would be kind of nice to do a repeat planting of
Well,
these boxwoods inside.
These are winter gems, and I'd honestly rather do those than sprinters. They've got a more
And
strong
winter
network.
gems give you some options on height. They can get 4 to 5 feet high. And so, you know, the ones in front of the nursery.
Yeah.
They're the wave
The
ones.
undulating
those
ones,
are
yeah.
those are winter gems, and they're like
That's true.
high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could just continue on with the box hedge of winter gems and just let them get
That
taller.
would be nice to match these.
It would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I love these. These.
Yeah. Hey, it
I
is
know.
getting fresh out here.
It's really chilly. The breeze is chilly.
Yeah. All right, guys, so that is it for this project. I hope that everything that we did made sense. It's always kind of hard to capture the planning portion of projects because there's not a whole lot to show for it, but it's a necessary part of the project, and I feel like taking your time, I mean, it's kind of my MO. I know it kind of drives Aaron crazy. He would just want to make decisions like this, but I like to take my time and really feel comfortable and confident in the decisions we're making so that, you know, when we get ready to write the check for the project, that's the big thing for me. I want to make sure that it's something that is going to work for us and that the flow is going to be nice and that we're going to just love it. So anyway, hopefully Benny and his crew said that we're first on their list because we had, you know, planned to do this last fall. So anyway, he said, you're first on my list as long as you guys have the design, you know, nailed down and you guys know what you want to do. So anyway, hopefully that will start in the next, I don't know, few weeks. We'll see. It kind of depends on weather. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.